So today's video is going to be a follow-up video on a video I posted a while back about working on your speed on guitar, and I'm going to give you a 20-minute practice routine that you can do every day that'll start working towards your speed goals. So the first aspect of this routine is using the pentatonic scale. You can use either major or minor, but for this video I'm going to be using the G major pentatonic scale. And the big reason that we use the pentatonic scale is because it has 2 notes per string in every position, which lets you really work on your hand synchronization between your left and right hands. It also gives you a very easy way to gauge your alternate picking because, again, there's only 2 notes on each string, where sometimes problems with alternate picking come up when we do this, across strings where there's 3 notes on a string and then we have to start the next one on an upstroke. That can trip some beginner and intermediate players up. So this one takes out that barrier. And what we're going to do is we're going to play in 8th notes with a metronome, and we're going to play each position of the scale for about 2 minutes. Because if we do 2 minutes in each position, there's 5 positions, that will give us 10 minutes of time. Obviously there'll be a little bit of a break, so take breaks in between, rest your hand, don't get tendonitis. But 2 minutes in each position. And what we're going to do is we want to set the metronome at a level that's a challenge for us, but not so hard that we can barely play it. So I have my metronome at 200, just so that it's going to be kind of clear what's going on in this video. But I'm going to hit my metronome. I'm going to start in position 1 of the G major pentatonic scale. There'll be diagrams up here in this part of the screen, but these diagrams are also available at my website with a link to that down below, and I also have a video on this. So if I start in, I'm going to go like this. 2, 3, 4. And while I'm doing this for 2 minutes, I'm going to stop playing while talking because that's a recipe for disaster. When you're doing this, first of all, make sure that you kind of get into the flow of the scale, you feel it going. As you go on in that 2-minute chunk, you'll start to feel muscles in your left hand get a little bit tired. That's kind of what this is designed for. Particularly position 1 of this major pentatonic scale has a lot of pinky, so your pinky might get tired. And that's part of why this is so useful, is you're quickly going through 2 notes per string, and you're working out the same finger over and over again. So that's building your strength and building your dexterity in your left hand. The other thing that's super beneficial about this, again, is that there's only 2 notes on each string, so it's really easy to gauge with your right hand how things are going. Now, when you're doing this, after you've kind of gotten in the zone with the scale, you've played it up and down a couple times, the great thing about practicing scales over a long period of time, 2 minutes isn't that long, but it's a long time to be continually playing something. After you've kind of gotten into the flow of it, I want you to think about the sensations in your left arm and your right arm. I tend to think of them kind of separately when I do it, so I'll focus on my left arm and I'll be like, am I using too much force? Because if I'm pressing down too hard, that's going to make me play slower. Ironically, we actually want to be playing pretty much as light as possible with our left hand so that we can float easily from note to note rather than squeezing the life out of it. It's almost like walking in water if you're pressing too hard. It's a lot harder to play fast or walk fast if you're in water. And then with your right hand and arm and wrist, you want to see how relaxed you can make it. You don't want to be super tense and feel like you're chasing it. And it's really amazing sometimes doing this. If you notice you're a little bit tense, just kind of noticing it and trying to think like muscle-mind connection, that you can actually relieve some of that tension. Because again, when we're playing fast, like if you think of some blistering fast players like John Petrucci or Guthrie Govan, they're totally at ease when they're executing these fast lines. They are not tense, because when we tense up our right arm, we get jerky motions and we kind of shoot these explosive motions. We want to be as relaxed and in control as possible. So after we've done that first position for 2 minutes, we'll hit the metronome again, and now we're going to do the second position, which starts on my 5th fret of the D string. So this. And again, we want to be thinking about both hands, trying to stay calm. And after, a minute, your pinky may start to burn. That's a good sign. We're trying to build some dexterity and muscles. And we just try to keep going through and building that. The other reason that these pentatonic scales are super useful for this is that the pentatonic scale is different from a diatonic scale in that it only has 5 notes in it rather than 7. But the major pentatonic scale is a shell of the Lydian mode and a bunch of other fancy ways that we can play this. And the minor pentatonic scale would be a mirror of, it's kind of like the outside shell of a lot of minor modes and scales. So we're kind of practicing like the core infrastructure of multiple scales when we do this. But okay, now let's go to the 3rd position. We'll do the exact same thing, but now I'm starting from my pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, and we would get, oh, sorry. There's 4, position 3. Position 4 would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2 minutes in each position. Our last position is way up here in position 5, where we end up with again, so we do 2 minutes in each position, and that'll get a lot of juices flowing in both our left and right hands. And as you go on, I would say alternate days. So like say today I did the G major pentatonic, then maybe next week I'll do the minor pentatonic. And again, you can get diagrams for that for free from my website with a link in the description. And I also have a video showing fingerings and diagrams for the minor pentatonic scale on my channel as well. So alternate that major one day, minor another day, and then maybe the next day you push it into a new key. And now with your metronome, when you do this, you can also slowly bump it up. And this is the magic of working with a metronome. I know it's scary. I know a lot of people don't like doing it or are afraid to start doing it because it makes them feel bad about their playing. But it really kind of turns your practice time into similar to what people experience when they go to the gym and start lifting weights, where, you know, 1 week you're magically lifting heavier weights than you were the week before or the day before or whatever it is. So it really gives you the ability to gauge your progress, which is super useful. Now the second 10 minutes of this is going to be the exact same thing, but we're going to be working on major and minor triads. So again, I would pair, if it's a major pentatonic day, I would pair that with major arpeggios, and if it's minor pentatonic day, I would pair that with minor arpeggios. And so you're going to do the exact same thing, but now we're playing an arpeggio shape. So rather than it's, and this is a little bit trickier than the pentatonic scale because there's varying 1 and 2 notes per string. But the thing that's really good about this for building fast technique and reliable fast technique is you get these wider interval structures, or these wider intervals. And it forces you to get really clean at working your way across the strings with your right hand, and it helps you get your kind of gets your fast playing in your left hand together. I don't necessarily know how to describe that, but it'll get you to play that cleaner. So again, I have a video of everything you need to know about major triads, everything you need to know about minor triads, and diagrams for that are available on my blog on my website as well. But without further ado, let's just take a quick peek at playing the G major arpeggios in this same way. And again, we want to do a consistent stream of these in each position for 1 minute to 2 minutes. So, that would look like this. Second position. Third position. Fourth position looks like this. Fifth position. And again, when you're actually doing this, stay in one position for around 2 minutes. It'll really, really help you out. And it'll really help you kind of sort out some of the kinks in either your picking technique or your left hand technique, particularly on the arpeggios where you have to be a little bit lighter on your feet. And so that's a really simple routine. It takes up about 20 minutes. If you really needed to, you could do 1 minute in each position of your pentatonic and of your arpeggio, so that then you've condensed it into 10 minutes. But this will really help you build the technique to play fast. It'll really build your reliability. And again, it's not really that much extra work to do in your day. It just gives you this, nice 20 minutes of structure that's going to improve your speed. It's going to improve your confidence in your left hand and in your right hand's picking abilities and your left hand's fingering abilities. And again, if we were doing it on a minor day, I know I did only major examples today, but if it was a minor day, I would be doing my minor arpeggios. And same thing. So I hope you find this useful. I hope it helps you build up some of your speed playing. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It helps me out more than you could know. If you're interested in taking a guitar lesson with me, I have a link to my contact page down in the description. I'd love to work with you on whatever you're working on the guitar. I teach all genres and all levels of students. And lastly, I have a new video coming out every Monday and Thursday, so I'd love to see you in the next one. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you get to have some fun playing the guitar.